Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to introduce Mrs. Knox. She's the president of the PTO. She's going to introduce
everybody in the back here? Okay, the students and faculty would like to welcome to our school and show how proud we are of our men and women in the armed forces for a job well done. I would like to introduce Captain Michael Warvis,
Good afternoon. Let me say that I appreciate your welcome very much, and I know I speak for all of us here. Thank you very much. It's really wonderful to be welcomed like that. I don't think we've realized how much you know, the welcome that we were going to receive when we were over, we didn't get that feedback over there like we are getting now. Let me tell you, it's wonderful. Thank you all very much. Our unit, the 171st Air Refueling Wing, supported tanker operations in two different cities in 2 different countries in the Middle East. Some of our tankers were down in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, near it was on the Red Sea, and we also had tankers up in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. And what our unit does is we're what's known as a combat support aircraft. It's a 4-engine swept-wing jet. And what we do is another aircraft will fly up behind us and will lower a flying boom into the receiver aircraft and will transfer fuel while we're flying. I understand some of you, the second grade or something, head toward the base and got to see a tanker up there. But if you did, you could explain that to some of your other friends if they don't understand exactly what we're doing. But we were there for approximately 3 months, and we supported all the Air Force type aircraft that are able to be refueled, and Royal Saudi aircraft, and you know, that need refueled for the war effort in the Middle East. And basically, that's what we did. Now here's a. If you could hold questions till later, I understand if you have questions, we're going to address those later. Right now, and he's going to explain to you what he did, their mission was over in the Middle East. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you. It's a very nice welcome for all of us. I don't think any of us expected it. My job and Sergeant Graham's job, we were stationed in Egypt. We're security policemen. Our job is to ensure that bombs are put on target. We do that by ensuring that the base perimeter is protected, that the aircraft are protected, and the people who have to work and fly the aircraft are protected. We do that by securing the base, by setting up defensive fighting positions all the way around it to ensure that nobody can get on the base that doesn't belong there. Sergeant Graham is going to talk a little bit about the different equipment that we wear. He's brought his, I've also brought mine. It's over here. I've also brought a little chemical warfare equipment. Hopefully, if your teachers give you the opportunity, when we're done here, please come up and we'll show what we do and how to wear it, just what it really is. I just want to say thank you. Okay, first thing I'd like to show you, Sergeant Graham is wearing web gear. This is load-bearing equipment. It distributes the weight or ammunition that is worn on the garrison belt in the pouches that he's showing you now. He's also got a first aid kit attached to his shoulder strap, handcuff case with handcuffs. He's carrying a bayonet for his rifle. It's a knife. He's also got a holster for a 9mm pistol. He wears a Kevlar helmet. He's got his sand goggles already attached to them. Funny thing about the desert, it's a lot of sand. And it blows very hard. He's putting on his Kevlar flak jacket. This is what every well-dressed security policeman wears in the desert. On his left hip, he carries a gas mask in the carrier. Most of you recall all the news broadcasts that were worried that we would encounter gas that the Iraqis would use. Had they used this gas, we would have had to don this gas mask for protection. It allows us to breathe. It filters out all the gases. Okay, I'll show you what the actual hood looks like. What we do is attach the gas mask to a protective hood. Once he seals the mask to make sure it doesn't leak. Okay? And what that hood does is a lot of the gas that's dispersed is in the form of a liquid, like a rain effect. What the hood does is naturally stop it from getting on your neck and your face, different parts of your body, your shoulders.
My body temperature just went up about 25 degrees.
We were going to bring the chemical warfare suit, but it's very hot. It's worn over all this gear. It's a pair of jackets, and a pair of pants, and a pair of rubber boots. Hopefully the sergeants in the Marine Corps who would have had the opportunity of donning that equipment while he was in Saudi can tell you just how hot it is once you put all this equipment on. Okay, and if you would just hold your questions until afterwards. Again, if you have the opportunity, please come forward. We'll let you put this stuff on.
Tell you what, it's fantastic. I'm totally, it's unexpected. I was going to come down here and see a few friends, Mr. Burgandy, and some of the children here in the school. I never expected everybody to be down here for a nice warm welcome. Thank you. Captain was saying was on the mop gear, which is called protects us in the chemical environment. It gets very hot. It's like putting on, if anybody's ever put on going out in the winter, or say you're in the middle of summer, you put a ski-mobile suit on in the middle of summer. Okay, that's a good assumption of how hot it gets. So it's nothing nice to do, but you have to protect yourselves. The gentleman behind me, we all had to protect ourselves as well. I was basically stationed down in the port of El Jebel, about 120 miles from Kuwait itself. My main job was to support combat support element to replace combat damaged equipment. What I mean by that is a tank, a jeep, a vehicle got blown up, and it got wrecked. And my job to ensure I got that vehicle up there to replace, to get that unit that needed it to continue to go. The welcome here is beautiful. I cannot believe it. One thing I want to mention to everybody else here, the war is over. There's still men, still women over there that we there for quite some time. They need the support as much as we have, we got right now, so don't give up. It's all needed. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank you all for this reception. It's been great. Mrs. Ellen Nation, her class, had sent letters to me over in Saudi, and it was unbelievable, the morale, how it helped out. This is not my cup of tea right now. This is the reason I was never a school teacher, getting up and speaking. Takes more courage to do this than what I was doing up here. But I want to thank you all for your support. Teachers, Mr. Burgandy, the students, and everybody. And we hope it continues in the future when we have similar situations that we can take care of. Thank you.
I don't mean to sound redundant. Again, like my fellow Desert Storm troops over here, really appreciate your support, your families, all you kids that wrote letters to us, your teachers. Very interesting campaign. Thank God it was fast and furious and it's over with. Still some residual effects to it, as you all know about. Hopefully that can be resolved in the near future and have everybody home. And basically, thanks a lot. God bless you. And I want to extend all the past vets And anybody that's in the future that's in the armed forces, that you people are behind us, and appreciate your trust in us. Thank you very much.
I'm sure somebody out there in the group has some type of question. I understand, it's been a couple months and they haven't been in the news every day, but somewhere, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them at this point. We'll make every effort to answer them as best we can. Okay? Does anybody have a question? Here's the girl in pink. What we're going to have to do, sir?
She asked if you were scared during the war.
Well, for myself, I didn't really feel fear. Maybe the first or second night when the war first kicked off in the 16th and 17th, I think I was kind of fearful because you didn't know what was going to happen, and that's true of any war. But other than that, we with our training that we do, I felt pretty confident that when we took off, we were going to come back, and I felt. And I'm sure the rest of the guys felt confident that the maintenance the guys do on the aircraft were, was up to snuff as well. There was some fear, yeah, but overall, I don't think that was anybody else. Any other questions? In the back, there's a guy in white with the, real loud. You gotta stand up and kind of yell at you. Those of us that were in the flying squadrons did not come face to face with Iraq. Is anybody here
Well, personally myself, a lot of the Kuwaitis, the Iraqis, the POWs, prisoners of war. We had a camp about a half hour, 45 minutes down from where where my camp was at, our camp was. A lot of them were scared. They didn't want to fight. They were, quote unquote, the dirty word draft. They're all drafted. They were forced to fight by Saddam Hussein, which we all know is nothing but a crazy idiot anyways. Okay? But basically they were scared. Some of them were as afraid as we were. For the fellows behind me, being afraid, I'm sure they can vouch for me, that it was there. We're all afraid. There's nothing pretty about war. You never know what to expect. But after the first couple of days, the gentleman here basically flying a lot of sorties. I was basically my job on the ground. A lot of sorties went through. They knew what they had to do. We knew what we had to do. Basically routine. But after being scared and seeing the prisoners, they're scared as well. Anybody else? How do I feel about Saddam Hussein? I like this war. I don't think he's a crazy man. I don't think he should be around. Little girl in pink? How far does the cannonballs go? That's kind of old, but I know what you're talking about. As a Marine unit, we had some artillery, what it's called, or cannonballs. They go up to 26 miles. That's a pretty long distance. That's like AT&T, you reach out and touch someone, right? That's basically what we did.
we refuel airplanes in air, right? Okay, there's a pilot, 2 pilots on the airplane, a navigator, and a boom operator. All right. Obviously, the 2 pilots fly us to where we're going to go ahead and refuel the aircraft that we're going to go refuel. The navigator is the person who decides how we're going to get there, which route we're going to take. Are we going to turn left or turn right? Once we decide where we're going, the airplane comes up and the boom operator is the one that does the actual refueling. All right, if you could kind of picture it as a big video game, I control the big video game. All right, except it's a little bit more dangerous than putting in a quarter or anything like that, you know. So, amongst other things, we also are in charge of loading cargo, passengers, and other functions of the airplane. You know, other than just refueling. Backwards of the cockpit, we're basically in charge of the airplane from that section back. So, did I answer that well enough? Okay. Any other questions? I can't hear you.
You're going to have to stand up.
The Thunderbolts. I did myself. I know a few other units did, but we didn't. Yeah, he refueled a few A-10s. Is there a specific question you want to ask about them, or no? Basically, our aircraft, we can refuel any other airplane in the Air Force, Navy, and we can also refuel helicopters at certain times. So if you can think of an airplane, we refuel it. I'm sorry? I don't know that number specifically right now. We probably won't know that for probably a couple months now before they come out with the actual numbers. But from what I understand, more people got injured and died from actual training before the war than actually died in the war. But don't quote me on that.
Okay, we can ask a whole bunch of questions and we can keep these gentlemen here till 4 o'clock, but we have to go, and I need to say a few things, and then we're going to have a little demonstration here. So we're going to move on with the program. So if you guys want to put your hands down, we're not going to have any more questions. When I was a student like you are right now, my favorite book and my favorite movie of all time was Ivanhoe. And Mrs. Robinson, could you tell us what the book Ivanhoe was about? Do you remember what it was about? You're the librarian, you should know, Mrs. Robinson. Ivanhoe was about a knight that fought during the Crusade. He was a soldier, and he was a very honored soldier. Today, standing in back of me, are the knights of 1990. The men who would have gotten on their beautiful white horses, all dressed in their armor, and as you can see, their armor is here, sitting on the stage. And they would go off to battle to save the people from the enemy. Like most school teachers, I tend to rely on definitions of words, because definitions of words have a lot of meaning. And I've looked up the word bravery, to be brave. Behind me are some very brave men. Possessing the quality of courage, to be valiant. I think that people show bravery when they don't have time to think about what they're doing, but only do what they're trained to do. And I think that these men who sit here on this stage were men who did exactly that. You asked them if they were scared. I bet you when they sat down after going on a mission, they said, geez, how did I do that? They didn't have time to think about being scared. They rose to the occasion and possessed the great quality of bravery. I would like for all of us to stand up to honor these men. And I know we all know how to salute, so why don't we all put our hands to our forehead and give these men a great salute. We salute you. Now before I close, you may sit down. Before I close, something very personal. There's a young man on this stage who's a very special person to me. I was a teacher in this school, I taught 6th grade. It was the first year that I taught here, and this young man, Billy, please. This guy is one of my favorite all-time kids. Billy Barnett. God bless you. I wish that bless you. And can I tell you that he was one of my 6th grade students, was one of the best kids we had. And may I tell you, if I could have told you 20 years ago that Billy Barnett was going to grow up to be a courageous soldier, I would have told you that, because that's exactly the way he was as a kid. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm awfully proud to see him here today. God bless you. I forgot to announce that we're going to have some special guests in a moment here.
Hi everybody, my name is Skip Kabacki, and I brought 2 of my friends along with me from over there. What you see here is the typical garments that the Arab people would wear over there. The men wear a headdress called an abaya. It looks like a tablecloth with a fan belt on. And the women, all the women, young and old, wear an outfit similar to this, a black robe. The only thing that you would basically see would be possibly their eyes. All their features are covered up. The only time they uncover with their robes is when they're in their own personal houses. So normally if you see anybody walking the streets, this is what they look like. Anybody know who this Arab lady is? Now, for a couple other things, over there in the desert area, they also have some of the common things that we have. And I brought a few things that I'd like to do is see if anybody knows what this is. Anybody know what this is? Who says Pepsi? Well, I didn't know you know how to read Arabic. Okay, we'll see how good you are now. Who says 7-Up? You're right. Now, here's a real trick. It's Nescafe coffee. Hold here. I also have a few other things I'll have available, so if you have a little bit of opportunity before you leave, I'll show it to you. I have an Arabic newspaper, some of the other guys on the flight crew brought our helmets. We'll have those out available, so if you'd like to try one on real quick, you can do that. Okay?
I'd like to add one thing. I looked around up here, and the ERA isn't represented. But we had many ladies participated with us in all capacities, did a great job. And we should have had one here today to let you know their side of the story too.
We also have another member up here on the stage that went to Anthony Wayne School, too. Mr. Lovato.
Yeah, I was in your position probably about 15 years. And probably was happy to be out of class also. Well, I'm out of work today and I'm just as happy also. I see a couple kids from the neighborhood that I'm living in right now. I saw them yesterday and they said, could you please come down? So I said, well, can I get out of work? And they said, yeah, you can get out of work. So I decided to come down. So it's nice to be back. I see Mr. Regani, Mr. Spagnola, and a couple other people that I recognize, a couple that I went to school with also. Nice to see everybody. Nice to see you kids, and just do good in school, study hard, and reach for the stars. If you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, be a doctor or lawyer. If you want to be something else, be that. But just reach for the stars, okay? Take care.
Will the Anthony Wayne chorus please come forward? The chorus is going to sing God Bless the USA. the men standing behind us. Let's give them another great big round of applause.
Inviting us here today to spend some time with you and your children. We'd like to give you as a little token, something that you can use in your display case. It's a can of the Saudi Pepsi, Coke, and a bottle of water that we drank much of while we were over there. Who wanted to know if it was cool? Kid right here with the Ninja Turtle, come here. Guess who volunteered to drink some? That's the first thing you learn in the military. You never volunteer. What's it taste like? Well, we have one person survived and one person's dying. So where's the first aid kit? Thank you.
This is for your dedication and self-sacrifice in support of the Air National Guard. Anthony Wayne Elementary School, Ambridge, PA, has earned the respect and gratitude of all our members. To our country, we give honor. To our state and towns, we give security. And to those who lend their moral support to husbands and wives serving both of those noble causes of the Air National Guard, we give our warmest and sincere thanks. Sergeant Captain Barquin, Captain, Pennsylvania Air National Guard Aircraft Maintenance Officer, and Robert G. Christian, Brigadier General, Commander of Air Commander of the 171st Air Refueling Wing. I'd like to present this to Mr. Bergani.
You know, some of the gentlemen that are up here, you're meeting them and I'm meeting them for the first time. Some of the gentlemen that are up here are young men who, when they were kids, went to this school. But this gentleman standing on my left, one of the few men I have to look up to, may I tell you that he's been a friend of Anthony Wayne School for a long time. I know that some of you are in possession of pictures of airplanes that you got in the office and calendars of airplanes that you got in the office. This is the gentleman that always brought little trinkets from the Air National Guard for us here at school so that we may pass them on to you. But not only is he that, but he is also a father of one of our students. Will his daughter please stand up? You want to come up here and give your dad a hug and a kiss? Now be still. And may I tell you that when his children leave and go on to other schools when they grow up, Jim Steele will always be welcome in this school. Jim, again, on behalf of all of us here, thank you and all the gentlemen here for this very nice afternoon.
Would Miss Ellen Beach please come forward? I'd like to present this certificate on behalf of the Air National Guard to Miss Ellen Beach, the class of '91.
Now, before we close, some of the gentlemen are going to be, they're going to remain, and they're going to be in areas around the room in which you can come and you can ask them questions, and they'll show you some of the equipment. So gentlemen, if you just want to take a place somewhere in the room, the kids can go for about 5 or 10 minutes and just visit with you. And you can ask them personal questions then, and they'll show you any of the equipment. Okay, just remember to be courteous. Thank you.
To our school today. Stand Christopher to the office for dismissal.
Pull it down. for dismissal.
Kevlar. It's made of the same thing as the helmet is, it's not quite thick.
Yeah.
The helmet will actually stop a shell. So, now, if you're wearing it and it hits you, you're going to have a pretty bad headache. But at least you'll be alive.
They should be alive. And this is made of the same material, not stick.
It's like if you're going to get hit with a softball, right? Or get hit with a water balloon. When you wear this, it's basically like you had a water balloon. You're gonna get hit.
Michelle, stand to the office for dismissal.
That's my comparison. I'd rather get hit with a water balloon, wouldn't you? Okay, next.
Brian? Chris?
Anyone wants to try it?
We have about 5 minutes before bus call. Excuse me.
Think that's any? Ready for some more weight? Okay. Can you wear that all day? Next.
Come on.
There you go. You got it. You just gotta get rid of that stuff here. There you go.
Ben Susan to the office for dismissal.
One time, get right in.
Jolene Vanier to the office for dismissal.
Now, there's one other thing about this. You'll notice that these are green. There's special covers that go over these so that they look just like this.
So that's who had the car, you're supposed to get others. The black jackets, what they call, they have desert patterns that go with black jackets as well.
Sergeant Grant, throw me that mask and that shirt.
The green here is what you usually wear in the woods. Camouflage within the woods themselves. Over there we wore this. Heavy.
Understand what they look like? Camouflage. They blend into the background.
Michelle Dambois to the office for dismissal.
Dry heat.